All right, welcome back to Two Dudes in a Room.
Two Dudes in a Room.
Two Dudes in a Room. My name is Zach.
And I'm not.
So now we're moving on to something that everyone agrees on, Star Wars.
Yes.
It
is the holy times.
Oh, yeah. It's right around the corner. We're recording this like a week before that the movie is released.
Yeah, it's a week before I go to it because it comes out on that Friday the 15th, but they have the pre-showings at like 6 p.m. on Thursday.
Right.
So
I am not sure when I'll be going to it.
Probably for Christmas. You just have to stay away from the internet for like a week.
Well, here's the thing. Because I'm going home that weekend, so I won't be on my I'll just listen to podcasts, nothing to do with Star Wars. Because I got to drive home. And then once I get home, I think there'll be plenty of open tickets, to be honest. And if it's just me going, then that's fine.
One person. Yeah, just wherever you can sneak in.
Right, exactly. And if I have to sit in the front, I will. But, like, I prefer not to.
Yeah, it's kind of the worst to sit in the front, but
yeah, I just remember
whatever I do to see Star Wars.
I remember when they came out last year, and
for Rogue One.
No, not for Episode 7.
So 2 years ago, then.
Oh, I guess that is 2 years. Wow, geez, it's been 2 years.
I know, right?
It feels like they just came out, to be honest. But when it came out, I remember going home because it was around the same time.
Yeah.
For finals.
It was like the last day of finals, which is the same time.
Right.
Yeah.
And so I went home and I'm like, dang, there's a lot of open, screenings for it and stuff. I'm like, I didn't really need to go. Then again, I did go opening night that time, but I'm not going this time. Which is fine. I don't have an issue with it, to be honest.
I kind of live on the internet, so I need to watch it first. Because I need to be able to post to our social media. I think I've talked about this before. I need to post to our social media. I need to do all these different things on Instagram and Twitter and Facebook, and I can't risk spoilers. I would die if I was spoiled online and then I went to it and I would just know something big is gonna happen.
Yeah.
Oh.
I remember. I think it was from John Oliver or something like that, where you could type in. You could go to this website and it would block anything that said the name Star Wars in it or like anything like that for any spoilers. So that was kind of nice. But I don't want to have to do that, to be honest.
Yeah, it's.
I'll go as soon as I can. Is kind of my thing. So.
That's probably your best bet. Just get it done. And I'm really excited for this one because I think they're gonna go the same way that they went with Empire, where it's gonna be a lot darker. Like the first one was pretty dark for Star Wars standards. Episode 7.
Yeah.
Was dark for Star Wars standards at least.
Okay.
And I think they're gonna go even darker for this next one. I think they're gonna try and kind of go with the same flow that the original trilogy went with, but then just patch up some of the areas. Like some people thought the last episode 6 was kind of weak. They're going to patch up those areres where they thought episode 6 was weak.
Where do they think it was weak and what part of it?
So like it's just there's a whole lot of like if you look at if there were like a little pot like a line graph of how, or a bar graph I should say, of how good all the Star Wars are. Episode 4, A New Hope, is like an 80%. Most people can agree it's awesome.
Yeah.
And then you go to the Empire Strikes Back, it's like a 90 to 99. It's somewhere. It's not perfect, but it's really freaking close.
Yeah.
And then when you get to The Last Jedi, it's like not The Last Jedi, Return of the Jedi. I'm sorry. Too many Jedi titles now. Yeah. It's like at a 60. A lot of people are like, they kind of like Ewoks and all the. There's a lot of weird stuff. That's where the weird stuff started happening in Star Wars, I think.
Okay. All right. Something that really was interesting when it came out, but probably isn't as a big deal now, the title being in red. What do you think about that? The first time that they've altered it in a way, you know what I'm saying?
We've talked about this, and I think it's because this is going to have a lot more to do with the dark side.
Okay.
The dark side is going to be explored a lot more. We're going to get a lot more official canon backstory to the dark side.
I think it deserves more to learn more about the dark side.
Oh, for sure. The dark side is so much cooler.
Yeah, and mysterious, and maybe just because it's more mysterious, that's why it's cooler.
I can see that, but I just want to see like their home planet. Like there's a home planet of the Sith, and I want to see there's so much cool stuff that goes along with Sith lore, and I want to see that come to life.
Yeah.
In this next movie,
I think it'd be cool to see the training too, because we kind of see how training works for the
Jedi,
right? But not as much for the dark side.
It's kind of like that with a lot more abuse.
Yeah, yeah.
I don't know if I've mentioned it before on the podcast, but if you've ever played the Force Unleashed, Darth Vader's apprentice, Starkiller, he if you have him in his regular outfit, like all of his skin is covered up, but if you put him in his light armor, he's got like marks,
Burns,
marks and burns and like whip marks, and like he's just all cut up and like,
and that's the dark. Brutal. That's kind of the whole going the dark route of things, kind of making it more grittier.
Oh yeah.
Which I don't know if it honestly would be the right choice or not, because when Rogue One came out, it's definitely more grittier.
Oh, for sure.
And people are kind of wishy-washy about it, it seemed like.
I think people were more on board with Rogue One than they were Force Awakens, though.
Really? Okay.
Oh, yeah. There were a lot of people who were like, oh, it didn't bring anything new to the series, which I kind of agree with. Like, it's pretty much...
In Episode 7?
Yeah, Episode 7 is a remake of A New Hope.
Yeah. Okay, that's fine.
It's the same thing.
It's understandable. But they kind of... nostalgia kind of kicks in with some of the stuff there,
which I think they were trying to ride the nostalgia boat for this first part, kind of get us drawn in, and then they're going to do their own thing.
Which is fine, I think. I mean, I had no issue with it. I kind of liked it, but the only thing I was kind of let down was kind of the lightsaber battles. And
they weren't as cool as in like the prequel trilogy. Yeah, like that in Episode 3 with the Mustafar, between Obi-Wan and Anakin, right? That was so well choreographed. Even Episode 1 with Darth Maul and Obi-Wan, it's again so well choreographed. And
right.
These ones were more about going back to the original trilogy, where it was just like, oh, we're gonna clash lightsabers, we're gonna get in each other's face, and there's gonna be a lot of exposition.
Right.
Which I suppose is all right, but I would have liked to see a lot more
action,
swinging and
yeah. I gotcha. I agree with you. I'm more of the choreographed. Maybe that's just because that's
what we grew up with.
Yeah, that's what we grew up with, kind of thing. And maybe I don't know. It's maybe not less so much. We don't care as much about the story. I think we still care about the story.
For sure. Like much. If the story is like the most important part to me.
Yeah. Right. That's and it's a lot. It also feels like, I don't know if it was like this when the
original trilogy came out.
The original trilogy came out when it comes to like trying to figure out what's next, kind of thing. Do you think it was like that at all in the beginning, or do you think it was just like, wow, this is a really good film, keep making more of these films? You know what I'm
saying? The first one, it was like when it came out, people were going like, that was a thing you did back in the 70s. People just went again and again and again to movies, because like that's not like us where we can go stream it online.
Right.
So people would go to a movie 8-10 times. That was a thing people did with Star Wars. They just thought it was a great movie, and then I'm sure that people were like, oh, I want to see a continuation of these characters, and that's why they made Empire.
Okay.
I'm guessing it was made to be a trilogy, I assume.
Right. Well, yeah, because you start off with part 4.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it wasn't meant to be part 4.
Really? I didn't know that.
I'm almost 100% sure they were not thinking of the prequels when the original trilogy came out.
Yeah, I suppose. I'm going back to the clip of like Family Guy when it's the Star Wars version of it.
Oh yeah.
And Peter's like, he's telling a story. And he's like, let's start with part 4, shall we? That was really funny. But yeah, no, I didn't know that. But I'm saying, like, do you think people like they made as many conspiracies, or like they tried to figure out, probably not as much to the degree of what we do now, because when like a new trailer is released, like bam, people are on it. They want to know what's going on.
I guess because they didn't have trailers as much, like they weren't as easily accessible. Like we have the internet,
right?
And I think that's a big part of it, is that the internet allows us to spread our theories,
right?
Whereas back in the day, you just had your friend group, and you're like, dude, wouldn't it be cool if this happened?
Yeah.
And then nowadays we have like MatPat and Game Theory and Film Theory, and he's spreading all his stuff out, and
right.
People have their subreddits and all that kind of thing for this kind of stuff.
Very true.
And it's just, the theories are more easily accessible now.
Okay, that's fair.
It just feels like there's more, but I'm sure there were just as many.
Okay, fair enough. Well, speaking of conspiracies or theories and everything like that, any big ones that you want to lay it on the audience?
Going back to MatPat, I really want Rey to be trained in the arts of the dark side.
Okay.
He just put out a video. Was it today?
Yeah, it was today. It released, today.
So it'd be we're recording this on December 7th, so that's when it would have been released.
That one, they were. That was that's the one where she was trained by the dark side. The other one's where she was Han and Leia's
kid.
So.
Which I'm really hoping both of those happens. I was really on board for the Kylo Ren ending up to be Luke. I wanted that to happen so badly.
It would have been interesting.
It would have been amazing.
Yeah, definitely would have made things different, I guess.
Oh, for sure.
But so far, the only thing that's holding me back from believing those things is his track record with the Star Wars theories. He hasn't been right once so far.
No, he has not. I was so on board with the Knights of Ren being the Rogue One troop as well.
I was so convinced.
Everything about it lined up. It was perfect.
Right, and I as soon as I remember watching it and looking for that theory, and as soon as they died, I'm like, well, there you go. I know. I was kind of upset because I kind of wanted him to be right.
But what? Well, hold up. I mean, there's like 3 of them that we're not 100% sure that they died.
So you're saying there's still hope. A new hope.
Sorry. Like the pilot, sure, a thermal detonator blew up in the ship with him, but we didn't physically see him like explode with it. So
all right,
and then Jin Erso and her boy toy at the end there, we just saw them get engulfed by light. We didn't actually see them like burn up or anything.
Yeah.
So it could have been like a forced perspective thing. I don't
maybe
like something. Yeah. They can still be alive, dang it.
There's still hope, I guess. So,
it'd be so cool to get all these cameos from these other characters, like bring it all together in a neat little package and be like, oh, that's cool that they're bringing back this old thing. Just as long as they don't bring back like Jar Jar.
I mean, did he ever die in?
There's a new book out that they released. It's got to be about a year now since it's been released, and it tells you what happened to Jar Jar. Basically, Jar Jar was blamed for the Empire because he's the one that gave moved to give emergency powers to Darth Sidious.
Yeah, yep.
And so he basically becomes a clown for children on Naboo, and all the other Gungans the adult Gungans just kind of shun him, and he's just like a clown for the kids.
Gotcha. It was a proper
a send off.
A send off. Yeah. All right, well, that's interesting. I don't see them bringing him back for any reason in this next episode.
I doubt it. I was also on board with the theory that Jar Jar was Snoke.
Maybe
because I really would have enjoyed just like he's talking in his Snoke voice, and then like his voice box breaks or something, and it goes back to his Gungan voice.
He's getting interrogated, and then he breaks into his old stuff.
Oh, that would have been. It would have been so funny, but I just know there would have been a collective, like...
Everyone stands up and leaves the theater.
Just walks out of the theater, exactly.
Yep, all in that one swoop.
That would have been... It's a bad move for the franchise, but I would have laughed my dick off.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I don't know how I would have been like, the balls. The balls.
Even, like, I'm not going to lie, even if they did do that, I would still go to the next movie.
I probably would too, but... No, I mean, going back to the whole theories of, I guess I could see Han Solo and Leia having a kid with Rey, or having Rey being their kid. The biggest thing that I remember that they talked about for that theory video that Matt put out was that the fact that they were sitting next to each other in like the reading of scripts.
And it was, you always put it next to like someone who you're very close with.
I'm
and
like,
that kind of thing.
Oh, that was a good observation. Holy crap!
And then he went to the script and he was like, how after Han dies, spoiler alert, Leia goes right past Chewie, who she's known forever, and hugs Rey, who she just met, and then in the script you can read it was a mother's embrace.
Right, yeah.
And you don't put stuff in that in the script; it just takes up space unless it means something.
Right, exactly.
And also, Daisy Ridley, she said that she was certain that everyone knew who Rey's parents were from the first movie. She might be trolling us.
It might be.
In an interview, she said, "Oh, I thought it was obvious."
Yeah,
so, like she could be like
pulling a Mark Hamill.
Yeah, who's been trolling us
forever
for 2 years now. There was an interview he did where he said he looked at Daisy and he went, why don't you ask my daughter? I mean Daisy.
Yeah.
It was so obvious that he was faking, but I was like, dang it, Mark.
Back at it again.
I just would love that to be a thing.
I could see it. It seems like a pretty simple way to round things out. If I could,
again, put his bow on it.
Yeah.
I'm totally cool with that. But then you have the whole thing where Kylo Ren and Rey are siblings,
right?
Which is going to add to the drama. And again, you're going to have two siblings who are force sensitive, and
right.
That's going to bring you back to the Empire Strikes Back, which it would be what they're trying to mimic, I suppose.
Do you think people would get upset if they did that?
If they mimicked Empire?
Right.
Well, yeah, because once again, if they bring nothing new to the franchise again, people are going to get mad.
Yeah. Yeah.
You need to make this next episode your own. You need to give it a style. You need to give it a storyline that is its own, or people are going to, like, your reputation is going to be diminished.
Yeah. And they, like you said, they just released a thing of her going to the dark side and then killing Luke Skywalker.
Yeah, along with Snoke and Kylo, and that'd be so dark.
That would be really dark, and I think I could see them doing it. Though it's hard to see Star Wars without Mark Hamill, kind of thing.
I mean, we didn't have him for the prequels.
True.
And I guess look how those turned out.
Yeah,
but Mark's he's a good guy.
Yeah.
Mark Hamill is an awesome guy. If you've seen him in interviews, he's my Joker.
Yeah.
Hashtag my Joker.
Hashtag my Joker.
I love everything he's done with Batman and all that kind of stuff. Star Wars is obviously one of my favorite franchises, but dude needs a break.
Oh yeah,
he's been going solid for so long.
Time, yeah.
He's been in the limelight for so long. I think prior to Force Awakens, if you saw him, you're like, he is a defeated old man. And then once he was cast in the Force Awakens, you saw him perk back up and become his old self again.
Exactly.
But I think
it's kind of like the Hugh Jackman. Like once he finished his role as someone that he's been playing for a long time,
and then he just kind of went off and if you've seen new pictures of Hugh Jackman, he's not as jacked, man.
No, he's not. He's actually. Did you see the new movie coming out, the Showman or whatever? What's it called? I think it's called The Showman.
The Greatest Showman.
The Greatest Show.
Yeah,
The Greatest Show. Yeah.
I haven't seen the trailers for it yet. I just know he's in it.
Looks really good.
Okay.
So I'm going to see that. But back to the Star Wars thing, quick. We're starting to run out of time. Quickest thing. I don't know anything. I don't know any theories about Snoke, about who he is, what he does.
The biggest one that I saw was Jar Jar, and then Mace Windu was the next one.
He's Mace Windu?
Yeah. All the burns and cuts on his face could have been from when he flew out of the...
He's also white.
Is he?
The Snoke?
Yeah.
Pretty sure. He's white-ish.
I'm colorblind.
Oh,
in all aspects of the word.
Oh, yeah,
Anyway, I just saw that... Because... If you remember, right before George Lucas was about to lose the rights to Star Wars, or like he was going to hand it over to Disney, Samuel L. Jackson came to him and said, a Jedi could totally... They've fallen from bigger heights than that. Mace Windu could still be alive. And George Lucas went, screw it. Mace Windu could be alive.
It's... Fair enough. Yeah, it would be interesting. I don't know if I'd want to go that way, but...
It'd be weird.
It'd be very weird.
Samuel L. Jackson has enough on his plate. He doesn't need to be doing the stuff.
He's got plenty of other stuff going on.
Infinity War. I think he's gonna be one of the people that's gonna die in Infinity War.
Oh yeah, I could see that too. Yeah, we talked about this earlier about who's dying in Infinity War.
We'll make an episode out of that, out of just the Infinity War. We're gonna be like a week late.
I know.
Getting out the Infinity War stuff, but we'll talk about Infinity War trailer.
When does that come out? That comes out
May
2018,
18th or something like that. 2018.
Okay. Yeah, we got time for that one, but what was it, 40 or it's like 42 million views and
43 million views
in 24 hours.
It was the 24th. That was in a week.
Oh, was it? Oh, I don't know. It wasn't. It's not even out for a week, right?
I don't know how long.
Hours.
Yeah, that's ridiculous.
I mean, I can believe it. That's the most watched trailer because one, it's really good, and two,
he's a great. And we've been just waiting for this for so long.
Right.
So I think that'll be the next episode. We should talk about Infinity War and what we theories on that one will probably be our next.
We're nerding out on y'all today.
Oh, yeah, we're just nerdgasming all over you. We'll get you a towel.
You're
we'll
welcome.
Be back soon.
Thanks, guys.
Have a good one.